Hey guys, welcome back to Hit Points Gaming, our second podcast today. How's everyone doing?
Excellent. I'm doing good here.
Good. So before we get into a topic, we're just going to talk about kind of what's going on with each other right now. Personally, I've been playing some Dark Souls 3 DLC, and it is fantastic. Being as it's going to be the send-off, basically, of the series as of right now, they're saying they're not going to do any more. This right now, as far as I'm on like the second boss of 4, and it's really good. So I'm really enjoying that right now. What about you, Chris? What are you up to?
I've been playing. I picked up the recent Humble Bundle, so I've been playing Helldivers on Steam. It's also on PS4, but man, it's really good.
I was going to try to get into that as well.
Oh, you should pick it up. It's like up to 4 players. You can play online. You can play like couch co-op. You can even do like 2 people the same computer and 2 people like on the internet. It's like a third person. You're just kind of going out and exploring like this world and fighting bugs or the Protoss or like cyborgs. It's a lot of fun. It's really, really good. I've been playing with Triple and James, and I can't wait for this to be over to go play, actually.
Wow.
I was actually going to get into it. I heard about it, and I think it's awesome, by the way, that you mentioned they have all those different co-op options, because that's non-existent in our current era.
Yeah, because a lot of like these like indie games, like these smaller games, they have just couch co-op.
Right.
You know, and they're absolutely no good for me. But this is awesome. Like we're having a really good time. We're maybe a weekend, maybe like 10 hours of gameplay, and it's really fun.
What do you know about that game, Corey?
You know what? I was going to pick it up, and I saw some of the videos. But what do you do? It just seems like it would probably be another rinse and repeat. What's different?
Yeah, it's kind of like you everything's like procedurally generated, they say. So every world's going to be different.
Okay.
But you kind of have a loadout. You level your guy up. You start with different weapons, like different like strikes you can call in. So like it's kind of cool too because there's always friendly fire is always on.
I think that's the coolest part.
It's kind of fun until Kevin's shooting the shotgun, and you're just and he just turns around and fires in the back of your head, you know.
Yeah.
And then he drops something from like you can drop like airstrikes or like additional like ammo or reinforcements or something from the sky.
Okay.
And it takes like 5 or 10 seconds for it to land, you know. But you're fighting like 20 dudes, and they keep respawning, you know. So it's like you got to do your objective. There's like objectives on the map.
Mm-hmm.
You have to either find them or it tells you where to go, and then you have this thing drop in on top of you and kills you. Now they have to call in for your reinforcements, like your clone, to come in.
Okay.
It's hectic. It's fun. It's a lot of fun with like people you know. Like we're in Mumble, like don't be caught, don't do that, or get out of the way. You know, it's cool. It's a lot of fun for $10 on the Humble Bundle. You can't.
That's
go wrong.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. I just think the timing's really rough right now. I'm playing Horizon.
Okay.
And when I'm not playing Horizon, I'm playing Zelda on the Switch portably. So it's like finding time to put those 2 games down.
That's hard.
To have a lot of fun
Right.
with my friends and have them yell at me. You know, that's a tough choice.
It's hard. It's hard. Besides Dark Souls being the main game, I could jump into Elite Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always jumping into Street Fighter, even though I just have so much to stay in for that game. I even re-downloaded Street Fighter 4. I've been playing Street Fighter 4. And For Honor. I go back to For Honor, and then I lose a couple games, and then I go back to something else. Like, can't lose in Elite Dangerous, right? Like, you just... So, anything else, Corey?
The one thing that I want to bring up is kind of this sleeper game that our friend Gabe picked up while we were at PAX. He actually came over the other day, and we played it. It's called Clank from Renegade Games.
Oh my god, dude! I have video of that game.
Okay. It is awesome. The most
Like Ratchet and Clank, kind of Clank.
No.
Wait, I think it's this.
Okay, it's a board game.
Nope, not it.
Okay.
Not even close.
All right.
Mine's called Clang. Mine's called Clang. It's like a rhythm platformer.
Okay, definitely not that. It's
Okay.
Clank. So it's a deck building style game, like Dominion. I don't know if any of you guys have really played like a deck builder, and I'll go into that. Meets like a dungeon crawler. So it's 2 different types of style of game. So everyone starts off with like the same deck of 10 cards, and on your turn you get to draw 5 of them, and those are your actions. Whether it's like move 3 spaces, like there's 3 cards that are like move a space, making noise, or like purchasing abilities. So You're a thief trying to physically go down to this dungeon, and you're making noise trying not to wake up the dragon. So kind of like Don't Wake Daddy.
Okay.
That's what it feels like. And you're trying to, it's pretty cool because you're moving a physical piece down on the board through this dungeon space. And you're, like I said, you're trying to collect treasure, which is basically like victory points. And every turn you're buying new cards to purchase, and then they go into your deck. And then when you run out of cards, you reshuffle. And now I've got better cards in my deck, so I have more options. But the coolest thing is making this noise. So the more that you do, so you can like run into the dungeon, make as much noise as you want, collect all this treasure, but every time you make noise, you have to put a little cube inside of a bag. And then when the dragon comes out and like wakes up or attacks, you have to reach into the bag and pull out a certain number of cubes. And you're trying not to pull yours out, because every time you pull yours out,
that's awesome.
You take a damage. So you can go really quiet and slow and hope that other people are making like lots of noise, but also are getting caught by the dragon. So I just felt so excited reaching into this bag, making a ton of noise, trying not to be seen. We just had a blast, and as soon as we were done with it, it was maybe about an hour long, we just hopped right into another game. And there's a one level of the board, and then if you flip it over, it's a completely different level. So there's like different strategy involved, and we played 3 players. It's up to 4, but we just had a blast playing it, and looking forward to playing it again.
That sounds mad fun.
Yes.
It sounds like, what's that game? The one where you're trying to find the path to the center where the dragon's sleeping?
Yes, exactly. A fantasy flight game.
Aren't they all,
Yeah, exactly. Dungeon something. And I'll think about it in the next 10 minutes. I know the name.
Okay.
But like you can step out one step in that game and just die. Like you fall in the pit and then you're out of the game. You're not really out of the game in this one, which is pretty cool. And even if you die, if you make it out like halfway, so you're not in the dungeon, you're kind of in like the second half of the board, like kind of in the castle. If you die, your victory points still stand, and then other people have to try and get out, because you can run into the dungeon, grab a quick piece of loot, and then escape, and then you kind of start like a timer, and other guys have to rush out before the dragon kills everything. So you can kind of like make the game shorter if you wanted to try and do that strategy, or try and go for as long as you can. So
that
cool.
Sounds really cool.
It's
man.
cool. I really want to try it with 4 players. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's just you two?
3 of us we played.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's awesome. Chris, got anything you want to mention before we get to the topic?
I don't think so. I mean, well, do you want to talk about what we're doing soon, or you want to talk about? Let's talk about it now. What the heck? Then we'll get into the topic, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Right, Cor?
What are we doing?
Yeah, Corey and his wife and myself and my wife are going to Japan in a few days.
You mean like Japan here? Like Japan?
Yeah.
Went to Japan?
That's
We're
right.
celebrating with us. So that's gonna be really fun. We're gonna be there for about 2 weeks, living up, I guess, everything game, everything Japan. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
We've always wanted to go, right? We've talked about this since high school with a group of friends of us, and we're finally getting it to happen.
I don't think that we ever sat down without talking about going to Japan.
Right.
I think it's like what every person should do who likes what we like.
Absolutely.
The other one is actually Italy, to be honest. Like you have to go to the Vatican at some point in your life. I don't care if you're religious or not. I'm not, but you need to go there. Are you guys sleeping in capsules?
I want to so.
You need
bad.
to, Chris. Just spend the one night and go into a capsule by yourself, man.
Yeah. I think I might, like the last night before we leave, I might do it. Becky's really like on top of me to like go do it.
Okay, good.
Do it.
Good. She should be.
But I don't know.
No, you definitely should.
No,
I'm really
There's
excited
one
about
chance.
the.
Chris,
I want to do that so bad.
When are you not gonna go back? Like we had this conversation right last time about PAX. Like
Right.
when are you going back? So
Exactly.
spend your night there and get with them in the morning, and then you guys can go about doing your stuff. That's what you need to do.
That's right.
I know. It's just so hard to spend. Like we're already renting getting a room, and now I'm going to spend more money to get another room.
That's
you know,
right.
like,
Yo, how much is it? It's probably like
it's
6
$50.
yen.
It's
Okay.
$50.
Like 6 yen. So $50 is like 4 billion yen, right? So just I would just do it, man. Just do it.
You got
Yeah.
it.
I think it sounds like fun.
So I want to know the story, so you have to do it, so you can come back and tell us all about it.
Right.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the whole point.
You guys have any like specific amazing ass plans while you're out there?
The one thing that I'm really looking forward to is going on go-karts, dressed up as Mario characters, driving through the streets of Japan, crossing over the Rainbow Bridge.
Wow.
Right? I think that's going to be one of my highlights.
I hope so.
That's a major experience to have. That's a major thing to do there. That is
real
for
life
sure.
Mario Kart in Tokyo.
Are you guys going by the Gundam?
Yes, we will be traveling to see the giant Gundam that's there. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely want to see it.
I'm really just around for the food. Like Corey and his wife and my wife are just kind of planning everything. I'm really just there to be enjoying everything and to eat all the food.
Mm-hmm.
The taiyaki is what I'm going for.
Except for sushi, right? Because you do not like
Because
sushi.
I don't eat sushi. I don't like sushi.
Man. All right, but you'll eat everything else.
Oh yeah, I'm looking
I don't
forward to taka and everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
I'm totally not a sushier, by the way. Like, I think it's disgusting. I
It's
don't know.
gross.
I don't. I'm sure you've had it, right? Like you've tried it and didn't
Yeah.
like it, versus
Nope.
people who like just don't try it and say they don't like it. But I think sushi is disgusting.
And I love fish. Like we eat a lot of fish in this house. My dad has always been fishing. Like I eat a lot of fish. It's just sushi, not happening.
This guy here eat anything.
I will eat anything.
This guy. All right, so I really hope you guys have the best time, and I look forward to the next podcast where you guys tell us about all that stuff.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Bring lots of pictures. Borrow Kev's. I think Kev has a 360 camera. Bring that too. That'd be
Oh
great.
wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
That'd be great. All right, so today's topic for the podcast is why are so many gamers, in this particular time, they say that they're afraid to die in video games, and that games are like so many games are too hard. Like if you mention Dark Souls, the wrong person, all that, that game's too hard. Mind you, that's like extreme, right? I think that's like the extreme of everyone knows that Dark Souls is really tough, but people who play it seem to beat it all the time, right? Like I don't think people get stuck. If you bought Dark Souls and you wanted to try it, most of those people enjoy the game so much that they don't ever get stuck and quit. And this conversation is coming from a situation personally for me right now, which is two indie games that I love to death. One being Hyper Light Drifter, and one being River City Ransom Underground, which is really what sparked it, because Hyper Light Drifter came out a little while ago. But that people are complaining that it's too hard, and how come there's no casual mode? Like, if you see this game, like it's not. I don't think it's a developer's job. Right? If they make a game, it's their vision, and there's already easy. It's not one difficulty. There's already easy. Like if this is the easiest that we want the game to be, this is the experience the game is.
Right.
Is it the developer's job to be like, oh, let me patch in this mode where you hold forward and win?
Yeah, let me just stop in there. We are not discussing easy, normal, and hard mode. There's nothing wrong with having those three modes
Exactly.
in games.
Exactly.
We're talking, like you said, this quote unquote casual.
Right. I have a direct quote. I went to the Steam discussions. The enemies are too difficult, and I don't know how to level up faster. It's a pain to play. Where's the casual mode? You already told me you don't know what to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? The game, if you don't know River City Ransom, then you really wouldn't know you have to go into the stores to eat stuff and buy stuff to get stronger. You go to the dojos to buy moves.
Yeah, but isn't that on the developer to say, you know what? I need to lead the player somewhere, like how to do things.
In this case, I would say, and I did beat the game. I don't remember if the game tells you to go buy things in the stores.
Okay.
But there's a boss. One of the first bosses in the game is right outside of a dojo that you have to enter, where tells you where that you can buy moves there. Right?
Okay.
So to level up in this game, you do level up by experience, like without a doubt. You kill guys, you level up, and you do get much stronger that way. But you can also level up by buying food. So if you don't know where any food is to buy to heal yourself, even though there's a million stores, and there's even designated areas of the game that are marketplaces for you to go, like you have to have not explored anything. Like, you just never pressed up. You see people coming out of open doors and stores, but you just never went in there. You know what I mean? And again, from Hyper Light Drifter, I have another post. That's okay. This game isn't difficult. It's poorly designed. Lack of healing items, not fully restoring your health after death, poor checkpoints, no invincibility frames on your dashing, which clearly this person's a Dark Souls player. You can't dash through enemies. Why do you need to do that? And the list goes on. It's frustrating since it gets so much else right. Which in this case, looking at this comment, the game is not poorly designed at all. Lack of healing items. Every room you go into has like at least one or two.
I never had a problem with it. Right.
You can just hit a box and there's usually stuff there, right? Not restoring your health after a death, and like I see that happens. I don't think it happens anymore, but at one point, like if you went into a room with 1 health and you died, you would respawn with 1 health. That I get, right? Poor checkpoints. If you enter a room, that's a checkpoint every day. So you go into an area, yeah, you might open a door. Next spot, like the next screen, like think Zelda, right? Like imagine if you had the checkpoint in The Legend of Zelda every time you left the screen. Like that's what Hyper Light Drifter pretty much does. And no invincibility frames on your dashing. Not every game is the same, right?
Right.
Like, and you can't dash through enemies. Why is that how is that a valid complaint?
You know what? I would be interested to know how old this person is. And the reason I'm saying that is, and I'm pretty sure you guys are already aware of this, when we were younger, we had games. First of all, there was no such thing as the internet to look up things. Or let me check out YouTube and get some tips. It was, you need to, first of all, read the instruction book. That is your really only source. And of course, you always read it on the ride home, from Toys R Us. That was the coolest thing. But you had to play the game. You lost, you died, you did it again. And you kept doing it. And that was the point of the game. And I just don't know if kids now, but people that didn't grow up with NES or even Super Nintendo, they had to go through that struggle.
Right.
So they just aren't used to that anymore. So I would be interested to see how old this person is, but I think that's just a common thread now.
There was a person who posted, I don't have the quote, but it started out with "I'm 33." Like I went to these discussion areas and typed in the word "hard" and just kind of saw what popped up because I knew they would be there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, I like your retro your retro comment, because if you look at a game like Contra, like I can beat Contra in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. But as a kid, or even as an adult now, who's like for instance Vincent, my wife's younger brother, guy wasn't ready for it, and he sat there. He played the game for like 3 weeks, so he got really good at it because he wanted to play it because we got the world record on Twin Galaxies for co-op, and he got really good. But how long did it take him to beat it? How many hours did he go to level 3, couldn't beat it, and died? So how long the games were back then versus you wanting to try to beat them, or like a game like Life Force, like that's not your average person's game. That game is tough. That game is tough. So I could see that definitely being a thing. And if you go back even further, like arcade games, you put a quarter in a Donkey Kong, 40 seconds, right? Maybe a minute. I think Billy Mitchell said your average Donkey Kong game is less than a minute. Like, what do? Do you walk away? Or
well, look at Gauntlet. You're putting in a quarter. That's your health, and your health is constantly counting down.
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead. Then I've got a point. You just brought it up, having to do with time. So.
Okay. Chris, how do you feel about these comments on Steam?
I'm going to go back to what Corey was saying with retro gaming. I mean, when I was a kid, my cousin and I, Jackie, were trying to beat Super Mario Brothers 3. Now, how do you do that? When you're young, we play a game, like you were saying, you play a game for days and days and weeks, and you can't beat it, so you keep going back. But there's no way to save. Back then, there was no save states. There was a handful of games that had the batteries in it, like Zelda, like Link to the Past, or whatever. Not Link to the Past.
Or like passwords.
Yeah, there was something to do that, but there was nothing in Super Mario. So we didn't want to use warp whistles, so we kept the Nintendo online. Like we kept it plugged in and on. And then your mom comes by, she's cleaning, and she presses it and turns it off. Oh, you left your Nintendo on all day.
Or she hits it.
There's a
I
reason.
left it on because I wanted to beat it. What are you doing? You know? So like that existed. Nowadays, if I play a game and there's no way to save, I don't even play it. You know, Fallout is awesome. I hit F2 and it auto saves. You know, like I don't know if I don't have the time anymore. You know, I'm being older. I only have so much time in my life to play games. I need to be able to save often and frequently. Otherwise, I find I don't want to do that anymore, you know?
I feel like in a game, well, I'm going to say Fallout's a bad example. Like, you're not beating Fallout in a sitting, right?
Right.
But Hyper Light Drifter, that could be, if you speed run it, right? You would have to know it, because there's some searching involved.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, those bits. What, 6-7 hours? Like, that's a long sitting. If you went through Mario 3, though, that's not a short game by NES standards if you didn't warp. Like, to go through all the levels, it's not short, I don't think. I don't know how long it would take, but I wouldn't say it was short. Like, Contra's short. Life Force is short. Battletoads is short if you're good at it.
So nobody beats Battletoads. Let's just, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why, you know what, I really wasn't even going to bring Toads up, because that's like the one where people get frustrated. But that's I get, because that game is somewhat poorly designed. The challenge is fair, but it is kind of poorly designed. Like, look how poorly designed Ghosts and Goblins is for Nintendo. Like, it just doesn't play well. It doesn't play well. But yeah, so I feel like it's interesting to me that so many people, and this is the next thing that I wanted to go to. But Corey, let's actually go to you first. You want to talk about time?
Yeah, and actually, Chris, you brought up the point too. You physically just said it yourself. You're like, if there's no save state now, I'm not playing it. Right. And I think the reason being is because there's so many options out there now. There's so many games out there. And I feel that developers, as much as they shouldn't cater to individuals playing their games, they're almost forced to now. If someone wants to play your game and it's too difficult for them, right? Oh, I want a casual mode. What are you going to do? Say no to them, suck it up? Because there's those difficult games, like you said, to the extreme, those Dark Souls. They're known to be difficult. And people that pick that up want that challenge or know what they're facing. Everybody else, they just want to play a game. And if it's not to their liking or difficult, or they have to put time into it, they're just going to pass and pick up another game, or pick up a Humble Bundle, or pick up a game for $2 just to entertain them. So it's like these developers are fighting for this entertainment that we're just in that society now that you can get anything you want. And if it's not exactly to your liking, I'm going to bash it and I'm going to move on. And that kind of ruins a lot of games nowadays, I feel. And I'm going to jump into it now about, like, For Honor. I love the game. I really like it. But what did they just do? They caved to people because they whined too much.
Right, with the guard breaks, right?
No, not even the guard breaks. With just, here's like a taunt, a cosmetic thing in game. Yeah. Okay, so there's Doug, correct me, there's 12 characters, right?
There is 12.
4 for each faction.
Correct.
I play 2 of them. And if I play the game, I'm going to just unlock probably the 2 guys that I play. I don't really care about the other 10. I don't need to have all the taunts and cosmetic flashy things that don't do anything in game for the other characters. But guess what? Everyone complained about how much steel or how much currency in game it would take to play and unlock everything. And they whined so much that the developers felt like they need to make it easier to achieve this. What for? Just to make people happy? Like, I guess that's a good thing, but just take that and take a step back from video games. It's just the way our society is now. If it's not exactly how I like it, I'm bashing you on the internet, I'm bashing you on Facebook, and I'm never going to play it again. And even though it's a good game, you know, my friends might not play it because I said, it sucks, it's too hard, or I can't get exactly what I want. Pay no attention. And developers, unfortunately, have to cater to those individuals because that's the mass market now.
Especially, I could see that as far as an indie market goes. people did mention that they liked the way the game looked and sounded. You know what I mean? For Hyper Light Drifter, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
They loved the way it looked and sounded, but it was too hard. But it's such a funky balance there, because coming from a person like me, like I would say like I'm a good video game player. You know, I'm not AGDQ level. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not running through Super Metroid in 15 minutes. I'm not that guy. I may still have a world record on Twin Galaxies.
You're not helping your argument by saying that.
Yeah.
Right, but there's a very big distinction between those guys and even me.
Right. So
Okay.
I know you're gonna say, like, every game now, I just play on hard. I don't play it on normal anymore. I feel like
Yes.
I
There's
feel like I have to do that.
There's usually 3 difficulties. Well, in the past, right? So now there's sometimes 5, which is like hold forward. I want to try a little how the game should be played, a little bit harder, and dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I usually play harder. I usually go the one I can get closest to the hardest with. And if it's too hard, I usually keep playing it. There was a game that broke me, actually. Straight up. Max Payne 3. I tried to play that game on hard, and I got maybe 20, 30 minutes in, and was like, whoa. Like, I can't move without dying. And even like the Call of Duties, I never played those on veteran, man. I know people run through it. I get shot by people. I don't know where they are. Like, it's just not for me, but I'll go the next level down.
Right, and you won't go on the threads and complain about how difficult it is.
How it's too hard. You know what I mean? So the difference is, like, I feel like you should die in video games. Like, you should have to try to win, play them. There's a whole market of games for people who want to hold forward and win. It's called walking simulators. Firewatch, Naissance, you know,
all the Telltale games.
Telltales, you know what I mean? So if this game here doesn't appeal to the type of games that you want to play, and you bought it, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I don't ever bash anyone and be like, you know, get good or get wrecked, unless I'm playing for Honor. Me and James are the biggest trolls. But you know, I feel like I've even given people advice. You know, the way you play Hyper Light Drifter is most people think you have a dash, so you're OP. So you dash around and hit stuff, but the enemies don't have hit stun. So you dash up to him, swing, he's hitting you right back. Mm-hmm. So then what do, right? You wait for him to attack, you dash away, then walk up to him and hit him a couple times. Use the dash defensively at all times, and you have such an advantage over everything on screen. It can get hectic. You know, there can be, like, not gonna call it bullet hell because it's not that extreme, but there can be lots of stuff happening. But for the most part, you have every tool you can possibly think of and upgrades and stuff to make the game not
help your argument there. How did you know that to use it defensively?
From
playing the game
and dying. I died. It wasn't working. So if you die 2 or 3 times and something doesn't work anymore, you think of how to reapproach the situation.
Right.
That's how video games work. And if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, then you're insane, right? That's the definition. I was at PAX. Again, I was playing this game. It's downstairs, my little ornament for Shio. This person was playing Shio in front of me. And it's a platformer, and there was like a fireball, right? So they jumped, blam, hit the fireball. 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 Hey mom, this is really tough. Jumped, aha, I made it past fireball, hit the next one. Jumped, blam, hit the fireball. I'm like, what? I wanted to like grab the person and shake them and say, please just look at it and figure out what you're doing wrong. Because holding forward and jumping isn't working on your spawn. And I think like another game that I thought was actually too easy was Twilight Princess, Zelda. I never died. That game is not
But do you
short.
have to die?
You don't. But it's too easy if every time I get down to 3 hearts, everything I break has a heart in it.
I want there to be, because it's showing that I'm not a good, how should I say this? I want to be challenged. I want to know that I'm good at something and kind of get a reward out of it. Or else I would just read a book or watch a movie. That's the
or
whole
watch
point.
Somebody play the game.
Yes. And you can do that easily now. Just watch people. But I want to be in control. So
Right.
test my skills or whatever. And you just mentioned like I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn. You know, I'm absolutely loving it. It's kind of easy in the beginning, but then you start finding some of these really tough robots. And in the beginning, I was just shooting with my bow, and here's all these other items and all these other weapons. Never had to use them. I just shoot the guy in the bow. Okay. Then it's like, oh man, I can't beat this guy with just an arrow. And then I would die. Oh, die again, die again. Oh, okay, this is a challenge. Then I had to start using different weapons and different elements and trap them and set these traps. And I would beat a guy maybe 45 minutes later, and I was so excited. I was happy that I beat this guy. I felt accomplished. I feel like I am a born dinosaur hunter now when I play that game. It is so exciting. But my pet peeve is, and I'm a little bit of like a trophy whore or an achievement whore. Like I like showing off if I beat something, like Witcher Platinum, because I beat it on the hardest difficulty. Okay, this I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty, but you don't get a trophy for it. So,
oh no!
Oh my God, no!
Like, what's the point?
No.
You know what I mean? Like, some other kid can be playing this on easy, and he's like, I platinum this game. Yeah, okay, because you just shot him with an arrow.
Right,
like,
but on the flip side, that also shows something about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you enjoying this experience is more important than that trophy.
Yes, but I do like showing that trophy up. I do. So I don't know why they just didn't. That's the one thing that ticks me off about that game. Put a hard difficulty. That's it. That's my 8 cents.
My so one game that I like to that I want to talk about in this argument. I don't know how much experience you guys have with it. Is Ninja Gaiden as a series. Okay, so Ninja Gaiden on NES is known to be very difficult.
Yeah.
One thing you'll hear just about every Ninja Gaiden player play is about the birds, right? So what happens in Ninja Gaiden, if you don't already know, is stuff that you kill. I think Mega Man's the same way, but this is just a little bit different. Stuff that you kill, if you take 2 steps back, it will respawn, right? But even if you sit still in the wrong spot, it'll keep coming. So there's these birds that usually fly over a pit, and if you jump and kill it, it'll come right back. So then, usually while you're playing the game, you'll jump, get hit, fall in the pit, you're dead, right? Now, what I started to do when I played this game is I want to say like I learned how to play it, which is actually going to come again on the Xbox version, is you run and you jump and you slash all the time. So if you run and jump and as soon as you jump, you slash. If something pops out, you hit it. You know what I mean? And that's just something that if you want to play the game and you enjoy it, that you're able to do. But in this day and age, would somebody be like, hey, you guys need to slow down the birds?
Right.
Can you remove the birds? like no. Like, you play the game for what it is. If the game is broken, that's one thing. But if it's tough and the game is designed to be played a certain way, which is like the Xbox, OG Xbox Ninja Gaidens, or what I used to call Ninja Goddamn, because that game was really tough. The game is designed to play a certain way, and it started out, and it was so cheap, right? And it is a funky design because you're constantly being hit by ninja stars and things from off screen, right? So guys that are coming in and off screen, you can't see, are hitting you with explosives that hurt bad. So is that poor game design? Yeah, it kind of is if the camera sucks, right?
Yeah.
But then you learn how to play it. And those games are designed for you to never stop moving. Never. So you're fighting a couple guys now, you realize I should be running and jumping off walls and doing all this fancy stuff, and you will never get hit by stuff that's off screen. And it's like, say you're in this example is like in an enclosed space. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things you come to realize, like, man, they designed this game for you to be playing off the wall, like what's his name, Devil May Cry on steroids almost. You know what I mean? But that's how the game's meant to be played. What are you going to do? Like, are you going to say that maybe projectiles shouldn't come from guys off screen? That's actually kind of valid. You know what I mean? But they couldn't make those changes back then, and I think it's cool that games can be fixed now. It's not cool that games are at least broken. You know what I mean? It's bad.
Or come out broken just because they want to hit their deadline.
That's what I mean. Like games
Yeah,
are being
right.
released broken and fixed later.
Mass Effect.
But games that are released that are going to be played a certain way, I feel like it's crazy that people would buy a game and complain that it's too hard for them. For them, it's not too hard. It's too hard for me. So you need to add this mode where I can hold forward like Sonic Adventure and watch it happen. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of crazy to me.
It's just
Chris-
with the internet, it's so much easier to make that happen. You know, like when we were kids, like Corey was saying, there was nowhere to complain or to call and, you know, or to put, hey, this game's too hard, I don't like it. It's just, that's what it was. You know, you got stuck with it.
Yep.
And it's funny you mentioned the internet because I almost totally forgot to bring this up. It was on I forgot to write it down. Was you now have more resources than ever to complete a game, right?
Oh yeah.
More resources than ever. This game is too hard. You go to YouTube, in Hyperlight Drifter's case, you go to YouTube, see how this player beat this room,
Yep.
right? We had, what, GameFAQs? Wasn't nobody uploading videos to GameFAQs?
I was stuck in Jurassic Park for Super Nintendo.
Oh my god, those games.
So stuck. Like, first person view, I had to destroy these eggs. I first asked permission to call the Nintendo hotline. It was like $2.99 a minute. I need to know how to beat this game. Play it for so long, got stuck, got the person on. Hey, I really need you to help me with this. I'm so stuck. They didn't know what to tell me. That cost $3. And I went back and I kept trying it. And to this day, I couldn't do it. I was so
Right.
stuck. But I'm not going to bash the game. I loved it.
Right,
But,
right, right.
Today, you could just be like, oh, I'm stuck at this YouTube. Oh, that's how I do it. Okay, now you physically have to do that. If
Right.
you can't, it's not the game's fault.
I try to never do that. I don't like. For instance, me and my buddy Matt beat we beat Battletoads on co-op. Right. It took us years to beat this game, partially because of our schedule. We played it at lunch break at work, but we made a promise to each other that we would never look up anything because that's how we wanted to experience it.
Yeah.
That game is quite a bit of trial and error. There's a specific section where you have to drop, like run to this side, drop, run to this side, drop, like that, right? But sometimes there are spikes. So the camera's not zoomed out enough for you to see a spike. So if you dropped and didn't know it was there, you're dead. Okay? But now you're like, okay, I know it's there. So now you got to drop and hook away from him. And there's a lot of parts like that. But that game is pretty long. And when you lose all three continues, it's over.
That's it.
And that's another thing about Ninja Gaiden is, on Ninja Gaiden NES, yeah, it's tough, right? You have infinite continues. Infinite. So you can try as many times as you want. So it's all about if you're willing to play the game to beat it, put the time in, get better at it. Not even get better at it, just understand it. You know what I mean? As to where, like, if you got to the last level on Ninja Gaiden and had to start all over, that would suck. It would. I mean, that's how games were.
Right.
But it would suck. Contra. I found out most people regard this as a really tough game. Contra. I think it's really easy. But I guess for me it's such a tough balance, and I hate when people like for instance, my brother. I said, "Yo, man, Dark Souls is amazing. You should get into it. I know you'd like it." That game's too hard for me. Like, what do you mean? You never even played it. Like, how do you automatically, just because you hear a game is tough, you automatically aren't interested in it at all when you taught me how to play video games?
Right.
This is the guy now that is just as interested in me. Mind you, my spectrum is broader, I think, for the types of games that I like. But, you know, the guy seasoned me on how to play games, but you tell me that a game is too hard just because you heard about it. Mind you, I bought it for him. I like forced it down his throat. I was like, yo, we're playing this together. And you know what's funny is when we played together, he loved it. Absolutely loved it. But he was so terrified just hearing that he might have to die a couple times that he didn't want to play it. And
I don't have the time to sit there and die and die and die. You know, and I know I'm not alone. I know I have to be I can't be alone with this. So it's like with Dark Souls, like too, it also, I wanted to play it because everyone was playing it. and I wanted to play with somebody. But like when I would play by myself, it's a very difficult game by yourself. It can be a very difficult game. You can go and grind and make it easier, but it can be a very difficult game. And I just, at the time in my life, I didn't want to have to do that.
I understand that. I definitely get as far as time goes. There are time constraints where you don't want that experience. Right.
And that's what it is. I don't want the experience, that's what it is.
And that's the thing. You can appreciate that. You can appreciate it as the game, but it's not the game's fault, and the game doesn't have to now become easier to fit into your schedule. You just understand that at the time it's not for you, and you move on to Helldivers and, something else.
I'm a firm believer in game design. If you build a game, and this is the way it should be. However, being older now, I do want to play games and just, I just want to play this, man.
Fun.
Just make this super easy. I just want to play through it because here's my $50. Just give me a reason to give you my $50.
Right. But the difference is that you're going to hunt for that experience, right?
Right.
You're not going to go buy Dark Souls and then go complain it's too hard. You want an easy mode on.
Yeah, personally, yes.
You know what I mean? I think that's a problem with people today. Is this game is please patch this game, not because it is broken, because I don't want to play it the way you made it.
Right.
Exactly.
I think to me that's kind of crazy. But that's just something that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to kind of get it off my chest per se. I'm not. It's hard to say that I'm bashing people for it. I kind of am, but I also wanted to have a conversation with these two guys about it. And
I think it's worthy to bring up because, like you said, if you want to play games, that's fine. You paid your $50. You're going to get the experience that you want, but appreciate that.
Yes.
Hey, I built this game for someone to play, and if that's not for you, that's fine. Please move on. But if this is something you're interested in, then please play it. People spent time and money and energy to build this, and it's a shame that someone's like, oh, your game sucks. This guy built it all by himself. And it's hundreds of hours of his life, and don't just step on his dreams.
We're defending the gamers. They're defending the game design.
Right. Yeah. I think that's that's what you don't. I don't think you get to tell somebody their game sucks.
Right.
Because you aren't good at it. You know what I mean? I think that's a major. Like, Guitar Hero sucks because I can't beat through the fire and flames.
You. Right.
I just suck at it, and I can say that. That's okay.
I suck at it, but I think people's pride gets so far ahead of that.
Yes. Point.
And you can point out things that suck. I think that Ubisoft sucks for nerfing guard breaks. I think they suck. In For Honor, there's a guard break system where basically you run up to somebody, break their guard, and you get a free hit. The way you had to defend against that was you had to time it so that when the person hit you, you hit the button and you kind of throw break like a Street Fighter game. Mm-hmm. Now, as soon as you see somebody do it, you just mash the button and you get away. As for before, you got one button press.
Shot.
It made the game a little bit more offensive because now like a mix-up situation, I'm coming in, bam, I got you with it. You didn't see it coming. Now it's like I'm just going to sit here like this and wait to see if it pops up and mash away. So I don't appreciate that they did that, but way too many people complained and people didn't like it. So at that point, what do you do as Ubisoft?
You fix it.
You
make it easy.
You make it easy, right?
I thought it was the whole, if someone presses it, if two people press it at the same time, whoever pressed it first always wins, and you didn't have a chance. So I thought that was what they were fixing. I didn't know that it was now you've got that window. I totally agree with that one fix because then it's just whoever pressed it first. Now I don't even have a chance to defend myself.
Right. It was the way it was in the beta, I believe, was that if you both pressed it 1-2, this person's going to look like they're going to get it, but you still have that one button press left.
Mm-hmm.
As to where what they actually did was they made it, this person presses it, mash, and you break out.
That's a shame. But again, now Ubisoft, we know they will bend to people. They just did it twice. So now every single game, people can say, oh, I'm going to protest. I'm not going to play your game anymore. Well, that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing to a company.
It is. It really is. And they want that game to be successful.
Yeah.
It's such a unique experience, and they have a good player base, man. There's a really hardcore player base for it, which I think is great. And they kind of have to cater to casuals too, because that's where money is, man.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
where money is. Street Fighter or Marvel's Capcom, people were saying Sentinel was too strong. They immediately dropped his health below Wolverine's. So you have Sentinel's health, right? This guy, health is lower than this guy over here. Like for a character that's so easy to hit because he's so big, why is his health so low? But that's the kind of stuff that companies will do. And I guess it's up to the hardcore players then to make themselves even better.
Which is the 1%.
Which is the 1%. You know, that's the 1%. That's the MLGers and the E-Leaguers out there who are just like, you know what? It sucks. It was dumb, but whatever. I need to go on stage and win this tournament.
That's right.
Because if only the 1%ers bought the game, no game's gonna ever be made. So they have to, the 40 million people bought the game. They have to appease them, not the 1%.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's the way it's got to be,
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome, man. So you guys have anything else you want to mention? I think we can kind of close this out.
I think we're good. I need to get some sleep for this.
For that long plane ride, 14 hours.
Oh boy, 14 hours.
Hey, it's less than
flight.
16.
Yeah.
That's what I do. 14. I'm ready.
All right, man. So again, this is Hit Points Gaming. We've got ManTan, and we have Lord Epion. It's not Rocket. I'm glad that everybody listened to this podcast. We're trying to do this every 2 weeks. It's our second one, and we hope that you come check us out next time. Take it easy, guys.